Thanks for listening to Mike Douglas, Michigan's retirement coach.
Keeping the spark alive. That's all we're doing. It's nice to know after decades of being married to somebody, just still the little surprises that come your way. There are people that are watching this video or listening to this podcast, Mike, going, that woman has not been married long enough. If by the time my age, you're my age, I don't want any surprises. No, ma'am.
No surprises. Nope.
I'm Heather Branch. This is Mike Douglas, certified financial planner, also known as Michigan's retirement coach. Michigan'sRetirementCoach.com is our website and where you can go to start the conversation with Mike and his team about your retirement plan. We've also got links posted in the show notes. Mike and I are both, and we talk about on this podcast and on your radio program, we're both very happily married people. Your lovely wife, Kimberland, my sweet Kimberland. Kimberland. Ooh, I think maybe that's another podcast.
Yeah. Kimberland would be an awesome podcast and she would crush it.
She would do great.
She's
got thoughts.
Be really funny on a podcast.
I know. She's very funny. Kimberly and my wife, Kyle, today is not the day. My wife, Kyle, my husband, Kyle, today is not the day. Oh. I told you when Mike and I came into the studio to record this podcast, I said to you, listen, I was like, I'm feeling weird feels today, and it could be a bunch of jitteries that come flying out of my mouth, but we're going to have a good time anyway.
That's right. It's real.
How long have you, that's right, we're leaving it all out there. How long have you and Kimberland been married?
Yeah, 18 years. We got married in 2007. So 18 years. It'll be 19 next year. I'm excited about it. We're getting close to 20.
Yep.
And we're trying to figure out how to plan a 20-year anniversary trip. So what we want to do. So any ideas, throw them in the comments.
Kyle and I
we're looking for ideas.
Our 10 years next year. And we also want to do a 10-year anniversary trip. And meanwhile, we were leaving for work this morning and Kyle goes, what's that? And there was a leak in the ceiling, and talk about life's little surprises. And I was just like, there was a time in my life where that would have ruined my whole day. But now I'm just like, that's home ownership. How much is that going to cost us going into the year we hope to have like a big 10-year anniversary trip and all that? It's just money, right, Mike? It's just
Stuff
money.
Keeps on happening.
Just gonna go make more. Just it grows on trees.
Yep.
Just go pick some.
Yep.
For those of you listening to this podcast, though, you've obviously gotten to a certain place where now you're getting closer to retirement. You're thinking about retirement. You're educating and informing yourself. Mike is here to help you in that process. And unexpectedly in some cases, not only the financial advice you give, but the marital and couples counseling that you very often offer is a real thing.
Oh, yeah. We always joke that it's, maybe at best 50% finances and the rest is family, fitness, faith, feelings, all the other stuff that comes along with the finances.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
Well, for those of you who are in a marriage, you know how you can learn new things about that person, even though you've been together for years and years. Comedian Jeff Allen had his own experience, and here's what he says.
She looks on the menu and she says, they have lobster. I go, yeah, they do. She goes, I love lobster. It's my favorite. And I look at her and I go, since when? You've been married 37 years. This is the first I've heard of your lobster thing. And she goes, oh, no. They're so expensive. And I said, I could spring for one lobster a year, babe. Look, we'll Dave Ramsey it. I'll put $4 in an envelope. Every week, $4 in an envelope every week. 52 weeks, we'll have $208. Walk into the restaurant, I'll plunk all 52 envelopes on the counter. Get this woman a lobster.
Jeff Allen is a man after my own heart.
Mm-hmm.
It's, again, the point is how surprises can pop up even after decades of being happily married to somebody. Surprises come along. You actually see this happen firsthand with couples having conversations about their retirement plans, don't you?
Yeah, a lot of this stuff ends up kind of fleshing itself out through the course of our meetings. It rarely comes in as a topic of conversation. It's almost always like I had Tim and Linda who were recently coming through, and as we were talking to them, I'm going through and we cover all of our typical stuff, income, taxes, risk mitigation, how their risk tolerance. We do an estate plan and we talk about long-term care. And as we're going through it, as soon as I got to long-term care, she really perked up and kind of started having a lot to say.
Yeah.
And she was engaged through that, but it really was like it became her
You could
topic.
tell her physical language, her body language changed and she leaned in more. Yeah.
And after a few minutes, Tim literally said, I don't think we've ever talked about this. I didn't realize it's such a big deal. She goes, well, it's a really big deal. And so in that moment, there was like this weird realization across the room of like, oh, they just learned something about each other as I'm learning something, but I'm also learning about, hey, maybe she's got some stuff guarded that she hasn't really
never
shared.
Come up before.
And so our job as financial advisors is not to tell you what to do. It's to find out who you are and what matters most, and then find out a way to make life happen the way you want it to. That's the job of a financial advisor.
Okay.
It's not to be the genius in the room. It's not to be the smartest guy. Now, you'd hope that your advisor is a smart guy and that he works with really, really smart people. But not all DNA matches. Not all basketball coaches match with basketball players and so on. In the same way, financial advisors all have a certain, like, how they invest in their goals and their systems. So I coach basketball, and I've got several friends in our basketball program, one that I coach with, like several of us who coach together, and we all are financial advisors, like several of us.
Oh, that's
and
funny.
We have different, multiple guys in the same program, all good friends. And yet we coach, we do finances a little differently.
Okay.
There's some really core values, but, and we have what matters most to us is very, very similar, but how we manage money for different clients as advisors, that's really interesting to me. And I enjoy those conversations. And at the same time, how I manage clients' money for different clients within our little ecosphere of our firm is different. So I think that what we want to do is spend more time on the who and the why and the what reveals itself through the process.
Okay.
So just like how Jeff Allen's like, hey, I did not know you like lobster, right? And we have this big joke that when Kimberly and I went to Mexico a few years ago for vacation, they had limes out there. Now, I had never seen Kimberly eat lime anything ever.
Just like
we're on this
limes,
trip.
like the citrus fruit, just limes?
Yeah, just the citrus fruit, right?
Yeah.
And we were there, and she decided, because we're on vacation, to kind of do like a fancy garnishing, and she sprinkled lime juice on her stuff. And we've always put it in guacamole. But other than that, I've never seen her use it. So she starts putting it on her chicken and putting it on every stuff. And she goes, I am so into limes right now.
It's so delicious.
And it's a very similar thing. I was like, oh, I didn't even know you like limes. She goes, I've always liked limes. I'm like, all right.
Thanks for noticing me, husband.
Well, I've done the grocery shopping for our family for a large portion of our married life because I do a lot of cooking. I've never bought us limes. Never. So unless she's hoarding limes in her car and like has this
She's
separate
got a
lime
secret
life.
citrus greenhouse because, you know, you guys live in Michigan, so it's not like you can just be having lime trees in the backyard. She's got her
she's
secret.
not walking.
Kimberly.
Yeah, she doesn't go out to the tree, pick a lime, and put it on her eggs that morning. Like she would like. Yeah, I'm not worried about a second family, but she may have a secret food life I don't know about, right? But she said that like it was so matter of fact. I've always liked limes. I'm like I've thrown away bottles of lime juice we've not used all of, more than I've bought limes.
That's different. That's not fresh limes. That's different.
It's not fresh limes.
That's a whole other podcast. Please continue.
Yes. But in that moment, she's like, I'm so into limes. So now we always joke, I'm so into limes right now. I'm so into this. I'm so into kiwi right now, right? Or whatever it is. And that is that fun evolution as people we go through.
Yeah. And
money and finances and retirees are no different. You go through these phases of life and evolution of life where sometimes things make sense and eventually it doesn't. In our health, we start out going to a pediatrician. And at some point you age out of that pediatrician unless you're Ross and Friends and you keep going. But then otherwise you start going to your family doctor. And then at some point as you get older, maybe you see a specialist for your heart or for your, a rheumatologist or all these different specialists you can go see. And the reason is because your needs have changed over time. Mm-hmm. And it's a constant evolving process. In the same way, your finances are an evolving process. Who we are today is not who we were 10 years ago or 15 or 20 years ago. And who we will be in 5 to 10 years is different than who we are today. So today, our finances are a snapshot, hopefully, of who we are and what we're trying to accomplish. But yet, as we continue to grow, we need to keep having these conversations.
Right.
What are our interests? What does drive us? What does move our needle forward or backwards? How do we live life? And does our DNA still match our finances? Who we are, and again, because the who and the why matters more than the what.
Yeah.
If we know who a client is, if we know who someone is, I understand what they want to accomplish and I understand why. When someone comes in and says, I had this because I told the story about Tim and Linda about how she suddenly sparked up all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had another client who had been with me for several years. Then all of a sudden he comes into one meeting and says, we got to get everything into a trust. And I'm like, what kind of a trust? An irrevocable trust or irrevocable trust. We have to get it into one. And I'm like, all right, someone in his family
all
is
of a sudden,
long-term care facilities.
Oh,
yeah, out of nowhere. We had never discussed it.
Right.
Other than early on, I said, hey, based on your situation, you don't really need a trust right now.
Yeah.
We need a will and power of attorneys. We may eventually need a trust down the road.
Okay.
But this was sudden change. So he said, all right, what's going on? Who in your family recently went into a home? And he said, my mom. My mom just went in. She does not qualify for Medicaid, and they are charging her $10,000 a month for care, and it's eating away at her money. And his dad had passed away.
Okay.
Again, so there's a why.
Yeah.
Right? We hear from the who, and all of a sudden we found out the why, and we start digging in, and now we start building new plans.
Okay.
Now, again, he'd been a client for a long time. Something changed. So now we have to change. Let's build a plan for the who and the why, and that determines what the what is, how we invest, what type of accounts, what's our tax strategy, what's our estate planning strategy, how do we protect money from Medicaid spend down. It all builds out together. So I just think that in the same way, Jeff Allen, it's a great bit about we can do lobster. We can make this happen.
Yeah.
You don't have to hide this thing because you think they're so expensive.
It's so expensive. It's like,
right?
we can, at least once a year, I can take you for a nice lobster dinner.
Yeah. And the bit about, $4 a week into a Dave Ramsey envelope is also really, really funny.
Yeah.
And to think about walking in with 52 envelops, the way he said it.
And just by the idea, the drop on the counter, boom, get this woman.
Just slap it in here.
Bring
Get
this woman
a
fish.
lobster. But again, our job is to keep asking those questions and to keep couples on the same page. Yeah. We live in this space all the time. You go do all the stuff you do. And a good financial advisor brings you back into the fold and says, let's get back on the same page with these areas that maybe, hopefully you're discussing at home. Probably not.
Right.
And we go through and say, let's recalibrate. Are we still in agreement? Are we still here? Are we still there? Because the who and the why help us determine the what. So I think that's my big takeaway from this is that, and again, another great Friends reference is when Phoebe says, he's her lobster, right?
Lobster.
Like, why? Because they partner for life. They are together for life and they're on the same page.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a great place for us to be. If you're so into limes right now and you're so into certain phases of life, then build it out.
That's it.
So I love this quote. I love this story, and keep the conversations going.
And I think that for people, much like people will have couples counseling, they will go to an actual therapist because they realize they got something. It's like, we got this thing going on. We got to figure it out. We're going to call in somebody for a while to help us sort through it. The same can and should be said for your money. And you will very often, I know you see it all the time happen with couples, stuff will come up and it's just like, you've never said that before. And none of us want to be, for me, I never want to be in a situation where Kyle's like telling this truth or this worry about him that he's never said to me before. But I think for a lot of people, maybe they don't even know. Questions they don't know to ask, things that they don't know to be concerned about. And that's what you're here to help, is to kind of poke holes into certain things, right?
Yeah. I mean, I know the questions to ask. Our firm knows the questions to ask. Why? Because we do this every day. Again, like when I go into the mechanic, he asked me some questions. I don't like answering them because I don't know anything about cars.
I don't know cars.
But I go in and say, it's kind of doing this, I think.
I hear a rattle.
And here's what the light says when it comes up. And can you please just fix my
do
car?
Your job.
Right? And so they ask a bunch of questions and I answer them the best of my ability.
Yeah.
Well, in the same way, when it comes to finances, we ask all the questions. Hey, have you thought about this? Have you considered this? Oh, okay. I've read about it. So yeah, that's what we do. We professionally ask questions to figure out the who and the why.
Yeah. MichigansRetirementCoach.com is our website, and where you can go to learn more about Mike, about his team, about Life Plan Financial Design and the work that they do and how they can help you as well. We've also got links posted in the show notes. If you are getting close to retirement, if you and your spouse have never sat down and had a conversation with each other about goals, concerns, how to make your money work in the years ahead, let's begin that conversation. Mike and his team, they are here to walk through those conversations with you as a guide in this area. So again, it's MichigansRetirementCoach.com.
Thanks for listening to Michigan's Retirement Coach with Mike Douglas. To learn more, visit MichigansRetirementCoach.com. Michael Douglas is an investment advisor representative of Stewards Wealth Planning, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Michael Douglas is licensed in your state, please call 517-323-7526. Stewards Wealth Planning, LLC is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Michael B. Douglas, NPN number 9650939.